Hello, my name is Dee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you have been here before. So today we are going to be doing a reading on messages from your spirit guides. Basically just whatever it is that they want you to hear right now, what it is that they need you to know, and also what it is that they have been trying to communicate with you. Okay, and at the end, as always, I look for confirmation from both the cards and the oracle deck to see little signs that might be significant for you. That way you can leave this reading with that little bit of extra confirmation that the reading was truly meant for you. Okay, so now let's move right into our options. We have pile 1 with this carnelian, pile 2 with this clear quartz point, and then pile 3 with this Herkimer diamond. And with that said, let's jump right into it, pile 1, with the carnelian. Okay, pile 1, let's see. Let's get whatever it is that your spirit guides have been trying to communicate with you, any messages that they want you to hear right now. What is it that you need to know most? Okay, pile 1. Oh, way too many cards at one time. Okay. Got a lot to say. Okay, we have the Hierophant and we have Judgment in reverse. To me, this is immediately bringing up that you might be indecisive about a decision that you need to make. That you might be indecisive also about something that you've already committed to. Okay? That you might be starting to have second thoughts about a commitment that you have made. And as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest. Oh my god, we have 3 major arcana cards jumping out right off the bat. It's just too many cards. What are you? So, let's see what's going on here. Okay, so the number one thing that I keep hearing, this indication that I keep getting from this, I just want to pull a bunch of the cards before I really start getting into it. But the number one thing here is, sorry to say, I'm not trying to be harsh or hurtful. I'm only trying to deliver messages that I am getting as accurately and as honestly as I can, but that does come out sometimes a little bit harsh and hurtful from me, but you can blame your guides because I am channeling them. The number one thing that I'm picking up on from this reading, again, is that you're having second thoughts or second guesses surrounding some type of opportunity, some type of commitment that you have already made. For a lot of you, this could have something to do with work or schooling. So you might have just gone to school for something, you might have just gotten certified in something, and so on and so forth. And now there's all of this self-doubt. There's this indecision of like what direction to take. There's a fear of change. We have the Death card jumping out next. So there could be this fear of change that's coming about because of this new beginning. There could be that this new thing is going to make a significant change within your life. Maybe it's a significantly new schedule or routine for yourself. Maybe it's a significantly different amount of money that you're going to be making or losing by going into this new thing. Maybe, but for me, it more so seems like there's some type of positive change that you are doubting a lot. You know, that now you're starting to second guess. This is something that you might have been all gung-ho for, and now that it's time for you to like put the pedal to the metal, you're getting a little bit apprehensive about it. You're fearing the changes that it's going to bring into your life. Even though I do feel like this is better. Like this is better. This is something to be positive about. This is something which I know doesn't help me. Just saying to you, be more positive about it. That doesn't fucking help anybody. Okay? What there's a need for you to do, because at this point now, again, you're basically, another thing too that's coming out so freaking strong here is that you're lying to yourself in one way or another. And I feel like the way in which you're lying to yourself is either that you're not ready for this, you're lying to yourself in regard to the it's almost like too, some of these changes that are going to be coming into your life are mega positive. So let's say there is a significant change in your schedule, or your routine. And maybe that's something that's difficult for you to get acclimated to. However, you're making $50,000 more because you're either just starting a job, maybe you've been unemployed and you're just starting a job, or you are going into a new field, whatever the case may be. There's these little things about it, these minute, I can't say the word, minute details. I still can't say it, I think. But there's these little details about it that you are kind of harping on, that at times is keeping you stuck in place. And this new beginning is something for you to be happy about. It's not something for you to be dreading. It's not something for you to be feeling like there's no possible way that you can get this done. And that's like an overwhelming message that's coming through here, is basically you've done whatever the work is to get yourself this far. Again, whatever certification, schooling, etc., even perhaps applying for the job, and even maybe starting for the job. Like, you've already started, you've already been onboarded, and now all of a sudden you're having second thoughts. And I do feel like a lot of times too, even though something could be a very positive change, there's still times where our self-doubt or our lack of confidence in our abilities begins to take hold, and it causes for us to really not see how, let's say, special or important or significant or wonderful and beautiful the change actually is. And I feel like that's what's going on here. The death card in and of itself can be representative of changes, can be indicative of personal transformation, and it can be indicative of endings to bring about new beginnings. That could also be part of it. You could also be sad about whatever it is that you're leaving behind, and now that it's down to the final hour, you're like, oh no, shit, I don't want to do this. I want to stay exactly where I am in my comfort zone. And your guides are kind of like, buckle up, like buckle up, like that. This feeling that you're feeling right now, of this nervousness, this apprehension, this indecision, this fear of moving forward, this fear of even the positive changes that it will bring to you, is something that needs to begin to be eliminated. Because all of these fears that are just popping up out of nowhere, I do feel are a hint. We have Two of Swords in reverse, and Seven of Swords upright. And I do feel like these are all lies that you are basically telling yourself. It's all these little hints of self-deception. It's all these little hints of self-doubt. And it's causing for you to get your intuition and your anxiety confused. Okay, so right now, you're having a lot of like anxious, intrusive types of thoughts that are ping-ponging around in your brain, and you might be taking them as intuition. You might be saying to yourself, now that you've got this new opportunity, or whatever this is, whatever this change is, you might be saying to yourself, oh my God, I'm gonna fail. I'm never gonna succeed. Why did I do this? You might be misinterpreting your anxiety and your intuition, basically. I hope that makes sense. Or you're thinking that it's your intuition. You think that it's your intuition, is that feeling in your gut right now that's making you feel like you're never going to do well in whatever it is that you've just moved forward toward. But it's not your intuition. That's not that gut feeling. That gut feeling you're feeling right now is your fucking anxiety. Your anxiety is rather insidious right now, and it's really taking hold. and it is allowing for you to confuse the two. Something that I would highly, highly recommend is working with your third eye chakra. Tons of meditations on YouTube to do so. You know, Reiki is another great tool. Focusing on harnessing your own intuition, focusing on meditative work even, and just reconnecting to your intuition and coming back into alignment is something that's definitely going to help you. Because there is, of course, with all of these messages from your spirit guides, I'm sure pile 2 and 3 will have very similar messages when it comes to self-healing. That there's an absolute need for you to begin to focus on healing at this point in time. And what you are in particularly healing is that being able to differentiate between your anxiety and your intuition. You're also being urged to heal the self-doubt that's currently taking place. Another thing that needs to begin to take place is being able to see the bigger picture here. Okay, there's definitely a need for that as well. We move forward and we have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, first of all, I do feel like there is some type of change within your routine or your schedule, regardless of what it is that this change is. It's bringing some type of change to your routine. However, I do feel like, let me cut myself off to say, I do feel like it's bringing some change to your routine, and it rather than just immediately reverting into that negativity and into that self-doubt of I don't have time for anything anymore, I have too much going on, I don't know how the hell I'm going to get this all done. Begin to organize. Begin to have a routine for yourself. Okay? There's a way for you to do this, and the reason why I know that there's a way for you to do this and still have enough time for everything else that you want to do in your life is because even that I don't have time for this type of message is another thing that's just a lie you are telling yourself. Okay, and I'm sorry to call you out here, but it's a lie that you are telling yourself. There's absolutely a way for you to move forward toward this, for you to develop a routine and a schedule for yourself that's going to allow for you to flourish within this. There is success that you are going to obtain because you followed through with this. And another thing with the Queen of Wands, to me, this is indicative of this is something that you are truly passionate about. And a lot of people might look at you and say, well, what's the problem here? You know, like, what's the problem? You got what you wanted. You did the damn thing. You got exactly what you wanted. So what's the problem here? And the problem is the self-doubt trickling back in. The problem is being disconnected from your intuition and your inner knowing. And instead feeling like the anxiety that's speaking to you and the lies that you're telling yourself are sinking in. You know, that's what's going on here, okay? Now when we move forward, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, and we have the Page of Cups Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and the Page of Cups in reverse. And I feel like this is honestly indicative of you feeling like you are out of your depth or out of your league in some type of way. I feel like the Eight of Pentacles is speaking to a lack of motivation. I feel like it's speaking to a lack of organization and a lack of routine. And for lack of a better way of putting it, it can also be at times this certain laziness. Okay, and I do feel like what's coming through here is the reason why you might be feeling lazy or unmotivated is because at this point you are really terrified of what this new beginning could potentially bring you, even though this new beginning could potentially bring you everything that you've ever wanted. There's still this fear attached to that for you. And you want to know what that fear comes from? Actually, speaking of the Eight of Pentacles, that fear comes from a lack of worthiness or a lack of self-worth, because you don't feel worthy of the positive changes that are coming in for you. And I'm sorry, because this is going to sound very harsh. You can dislike the video if you want to, but the Page of Cups in reverse is indicative of growing up. It's indicative of becoming mature or maturing. in one way or another. So this can mean gaining financial independence for some of us. This can mean moving forward, doing the damn thing, and really feeling good about ourselves because we took that chance on ourselves. And I feel like that there's a combination of things going on here, but a lot of it, again, I went over it all with the intuition versus your anxiety. There's the self-doubt, and now there is this lack of worthiness that's taking place. And you are being urged, or the message that I keep getting from your guides immediately when this card flew out, is to grow up. That this is growing up. Like that Blink-182 song. Okay, that this is growing up. You are doing the damn thing. You're urged to continue to do it. You are going to be successful. Basically another thing too, don't listen to these lies that you are telling yourself. That's your anxiety speaking. That is not your intuition, which again brings me back to that message, but it's true. Okay, that's something that is coming out very, 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 very strongly here. Okay, what are you? Oh my goodness. We have the Power card. Okay? Reconnect. Another chakra that could use some loving is the solar plexus chakra. Okay? You need to know that you are a powerful, powerful being. You have the unlimited potential and the unlimited capability to go after whatever the hell this is. Okay? You have unlimited personal power over this situation right now. And it's time that you utilize it. Okay? The attraction card. Oh my god. This is all lining up. I get really giddy when everything all lines up. Although I do love to see new messages come through with the oracle cards, of course, but I can't help but get a little bit giddy when it all starts to line up. The attraction card is signifying that this is what you have wanted. This is what you have been working toward. Don't let your anxiety win. I'm telling you right now, don't let that anxiety win. Don't let that self-doubt win. Keep going forward toward this, okay? Because this is what you want to do. This is what you are meant to do. This is what allows for you to feel purposeful. This is what allows for you to feel passionate. This is what, when you are, like, let's say, clear-minded, when self-doubt has fallen by the wayside, this is what you know you are meant to do. Okay, this is, and on a side note, this is what you are meant to do. But it's like, this is when everything else is quieted down. Again, when you're clear-minded, when you've got the clarity, when the self-doubt has fallen away, when you're feeling worthy, when you're feeling abundant. This is exactly what it is that you have been wanting. Exactly what it is that you have been asking for. Okay, you have to, like, to me, it's, so overall too, when it comes to the anxiety versus the intuition, just before I get another card out, there's also a need, of course, to go to therapy if you need therapy. If your anxiety is completely out of control, you know, there's a need for you to really begin to get yourself the help that you need in order to begin to heal from it, okay? And then, okay, so we had the trust card jump out, we had extremes jump out, and we also have assessing, okay? So the trust card is basically, I feel, just, of course, indicative of trusting that this is all going to work out in your favor, because it is. Another thing I feel like is you need to reestablish some sense of trust within yourself. You need to reestablish trust with your intuition. You also need to reestablish trust in yourself so that you're not constantly doubting yourself. You know exactly what it is that you need to do, okay? With this power card, you know exactly what it is that you need to do. And I also feel like that's what the assessing card is bringing to the surface. Let's say that the assessing card as well is this card that's indicating you know exactly what it is that you need to do. And if you don't, that's when you need to get organized and you need to get routine. Okay? Because at the end of the day, whatever this venture is, and for a lot of us, I feel like it could be something that we're trying to start on our own. Um, for maybe not a lot of us, but for some of us, I do get this distinct message of, you starting your own business, or this is something that's personally yours. Again, this is something that maybe you trained to be able to do. Okay, and maybe if it's not completely your own business, like maybe your name's not on the shop's door, it's still something that you have a lot of autonomy over. And again, when you are starting to feel lost, or you're starting to feel like you're what's the word, when you're starting to feel out of sorts, when you're starting to feel like you've got too many balls in the air and you have no idea you know where the hell to place your time, effort, and energy, assess the situation and make a plan. Write a list, write a freaking to-do list, plot and plan, organize and routine yourself. And the extremes card, it jumped out when I was talking about anxiety. So again, if your anxiety is out of control, you're feeling like it's at that point where it's about to be out of control, reach out for help in order to begin to resolve the issue. Okay, and then we have, last but not least, the blossoming card. Okay, again signifying, so just, I don't want to breeze over it, but with the extremes card, this can again be indicating extreme anxiety. Okay, and if it's not something that meditation or grounding exercises will help, then it is time to seek out the help of a professional. Okay, but now let's jump into the blossoming card. With blossoming, this is again indicating whatever the hell this idea is, it's blossoming, it's coming to fruition. Okay? This is the beginning stages that you are at when it comes to whatever this is. Don't let your extreme anxiety, don't let your extreme self-doubt, don't let your, at times, extreme feeling of a lack of self-worth hold you back from going after this, because this is exactly what you wanted. This is exactly where you feel passion. This is exactly where you feel purpose, and this is exactly what is going to bring you the success that you have been searching for. Okay, so now in regard to confirmation, we have, okay, so I just wanted to get myself organized before getting into the confirmation. So one thing that's on a lot of the tarot cards are boxes. And then there's one so basically, to me, I feel like if you do for some reason have maybe boxes in your house or your apartment because you're moving, that could be a sign of confirmation for you. Maybe if you also have like a little gift box or jewelry box either on your nightstand or on your dresser, that could be, or no, more so your nightstand, more so by where you sleep. Okay, if you have one, right on your nightstand, that to me would more so be a sign of confirmation, because I feel like if you're going to have a jewelry box, it's probably going to be on your dresser. So that would not be so much confirmation. That might be confirmation for a lot of people. Another sign that we have are ducks. So if you don't usually see ducks and now all of a sudden you are seeing them, that's another sign of confirmation for you. And we also have string instruments and monocles. String instruments, monocles, and lastly, when it comes to repeating numbers, if you have been seeing the numbers 333 or 444, that's another, and 7. Okay, so 7s, 3s, and 4s, repeating any which way would be another sign or confirmation, because we have 3 or 4 7s, and we have 444s, and we also have 333s and a bunch of 3s here as well. So 333, 444, 777 would be some other confirmation, especially when it comes to numbers and synchronicities. So I think that is pretty much it. We've got ducks, we've got monocles, string instruments, jewelry boxes on the dresser, and gift boxes or boxes just kind of laying around, sitting around somewhere. Okay, so that is pretty much it, pile one. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today. And I really do hope that nothing that I said was too harsh or too hurtful. I'm never trying to be harsh or hurtful. I am only trying to deliver the messages as accurately as I am getting them. So thank you so much, pile one, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Hello, pile two. So today we are looking at what messages your spirit guides have for you. Okay, what it is that they feel you need to hear most right now, what it is that they feel you need to know most right now, and basically what it is that they have been trying to communicate with you. Okay, what it is they have been trying to tell you through their signs and their synchronicities. And at the end, we are going to be looking at confirmation via the cards. That way you can leave this reading knowing that these messages were meant for you. Okay, so one thing that's coming through is there seems to be a standstill at place. Okay, there's some type of standstill occurring within your life. So take it as it resonates, and as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest. For some of you, I feel like this has to do with your self-worth. For others, I do feel like it has to do more so with abundance. Almost like there's this major blockage that's taking place when it comes to abundance. We have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, starting us out, followed by the Seven of Wands in reverse and the Chariot in reverse. So this is, even before I saw the Chariot, I was starting to say the word standstill. And there's just this lack of movement. There's this lack of motivation to get started. There's this almost guarding yourself or blocking yourself from what could be coming in. And then the Chariot indicating a complete and total standstill. So this could be an indication of not taking opportunities when they're presented to you. This can be an indication of not looking for opportunities that are right in front of you. And this can also, in general, not taking opportunities or not following through with opportunities that could potentially be bringing you in some abundance, either emotionally or financially, because we do have the Seven of Wands, which to me indicates that there is almost this physical blockage like taking place, or this emotional blockage taking place. I would highly recommend something such as meditative work and even Reiki to help for you to get your chakras rolling again, to help for you to come back into alignment in one way or another, because there is just this standstill, this just full stop. Okay, and part of the reason for that could be because of anxiety with the Nine of Swords in reverse. Okay, there might be this anxiety that's taking place, that you're feeling apprehensive about moving forward. And basically what you're being urged to do at the end of the day with the Page of Wands is to do something. Okay, because to me, it does seem as though there is, like, let's say a goal. Maybe Page of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. So this is going to go on brand with what I was about to say. That it does seem like there's something you want to do, or something that you are trying to or wanting to move forward toward, but there is this lack of forward movement when it comes to you. Okay, that there's this lack of moving things along in one way or another. That there can at times be this lack of self-worth, or this lack of worthiness taking place here. That there could be anxiety and self-doubt taking place here. Another thing, especially with the Chariot in reverse, there could be mountains that just seem way too high for you to climb. And what you're being urged to do with that Page of Wands is to literally just do anything. Okay, do something, and I've got not do anything, but do anything that pertains to this goal. What this is reminding me of is two things. The first one could be analysis paralysis, where you've got so many ideas rattling around in your head that you can't seem to pick and choose one. And that's leading you to this lack of motivation. Like, there's so many things that you have to do that you kind of say, fuck it, and do nothing. Again, leading to this lack of motivation leading to this major blockage that's taking place here. Another thing that could be going on here is that your goal is just way, way, way too large on its own. And there's a need for you to break it up, break it into smaller, manageable, tangible goals for yourself. Okay, so just to, like, off the top of my head come up with a silly example, but it's like if you want to be like the next great writer, you're not going to be like Stephen King tomorrow. So there's a need for you to, let's say, practice. There's a need for you to write something down. I feel like this would work easier if I use my music analogy. So like with music, let's say you're not going to be Beyonce tomorrow. There's certain steps that you need to take. Hire a voice coach if you're completely new to it. If you're not, then this might be, making your own beats. This might be getting some studio time in. This might be promoting yourself on social media. This might be, putting something out there for other people to listen to and for other people to hear. This might be practicing and going through kind of like trial and error with it, and so on and so forth. And I feel like that's something that is definitely taking place right now, where your goal is just too large, and that in and of itself could be causing some of the analysis paralysis. Because if you have it in your head of, I'm going to be the next best singer, writer, I'm going to be the next best, even like I'm going to be the CEO of this company, and it's not your own company. There's a need for you to break down whatever your goal is into something that is small, manageable, and tangible for yourself. And give yourself also time limits. Like, I think they're called SMART goals, and I don't think I'm going over them like for what each word of or each letter that the acronym stands for. I'm not hitting all of them right. But smaller, manageable, more tangible goals for yourself. Goals that you can set a time limit on, or set a routine around even. Like if your first step in going after your music career, your first step in being CEO is to make sure you get all your reports turned in on time, or to make sure that you're practicing vocally every day. That's where you need to start, and that's where you need to begin to make this first tangible routine around. Because you're not going to have the resources that the CEO of the company has, or that Beyonce has, starting off right now. Okay, that would be impossible unless you've got the money to do so. It's not impossible, it's implausible, if that makes sense. I think that's the way it's supposed to be worded. It's not something that's completely out of the realm of possibility, because even with that, you could blow up on TikTok or Instagram tomorrow. But it is implausible that you're going to take, like you're at step A or B right now. It's impossible that you're going to make it all the way to step Z without making these smaller tangible goals and hitting these smaller tangible goals in the meantime. Okay? And again, I do feel like that's where some of this analysis paralysis comes in, where there's just so much that you need to do that it's become very difficult or burdensome for you to break it all down. Okay? And that maybe you have broke it all down. Too many cards flew out, so I'm putting them back. But maybe you have broken some of them down, or maybe you're trying to look for, even for some of this too, and again, don't shoot the messenger, guys, but even for some of this, it could be that you're looking for like an easy way out, or you're looking for that big break. But even for a lot of people, like let's say creatively, that have had their big break, or even in the business world, people that have their big break, there was a lot of trial and error. There were a lot of perhaps smaller, more tangible goals that they met in order to get themselves to that big break. And that's something to keep in mind as well. But with the analysis paralysis, Ace of Wands in reverse, basically to me that's yet again indicating that there is this lack of motivation, and there's a lack of motivation because there is this feeling of there's way too much to do, there's way too much for me to accomplish, and so on and so forth. And the first step is you basically taking that step. You know, like the first step, like, again, to go back to the Page of Wands, which to me kind of brought through a harsh message at first, and that harsh message was to do something. Pick something, stick with it, create a routine around it. And of course, not anything, not perhaps maybe what it is that you have been doing that's adding to this lack of motivation and lack of movement toward your goal, but picking things that you can manageably accomplish on your own to get yourself closer to this goal. And what are you? And we have the Emperor in reverse. Okay, so there is, again, there's self-doubt. There's also, I feel like, cracks in the, what is that? Like, there's cracks taking place here. Cracks perhaps in the foundation of whatever this goal is. And again, I feel like a lot of that is stemming from anxiety. I feel like a lot of that is stemming from self-doubt. And now I also feel like a lot of it, which I heard earlier but haven't really seen another confirmation, but when this card fell and I saw it, another thing I feel like that's taking place here is imposter syndrome. You not feeling like you belong in whatever this new world is. If this is a job opportunity that you're trying to move forward toward, if this is a career or business venture, like a personal business venture, if this is a creative venture, there's this very strong feeling of not feeling like you belong. So we have analysis paralysis, we have imposter syndrome, we have a lack of motivation, lack of time, effort, and energy perhaps. There's a need for you to make SMART goals. Okay, it's an acronym. Look it up because I'm not explaining it correctly. I'm not explaining all the aspects of it. We have the moon. There's so much doubt, fear, anxiety. There are, similarly to pile one, all of these lies that you are telling yourself. There's the imposter syndrome again. Okay. There is a need to really, there's a need for you to create a routine for yourself when it comes to at least one of these things. There's a need for you to at first create before I get on that, the routine more so at this point in time is that you're being urged to focus on self-care. Okay? Because the anxiety, the self-doubt, the lack of motivation is completely out of control. And then we have King of Pentacles ending this, again reiterating that there is a lack of abundance, a lack of worth, a lack of, like, you do not feel worthy of the abundance that you seek. Okay? And that is something that is coming through very heavily here. Okay, we also, in pile one, and it happened again here, a lot of major arcana cards jumping out, which to me can indicate that not only is this a significant struggle that you're currently going through, but that what's coming out here might be something that has been significant to you throughout your life. You know, maybe anxiety has always been something that's held you back. Maybe self-doubt has always been something that has held you back. Maybe you have a habit of taking care of others before taking care of yourself. Maybe you have a habit of not feeling welcomed or not feeling accepted, not feeling like you belong. You know, maybe there has been a lack of motivation. Maybe there's a lack of worthiness or a lack of motivation that's stemming from a larger issue such as depression. Okay, so there's definitely a need for you to focus on self-healing at this point in time. Okay, there's a need for, I'm going to list my big six: meditation, introspection, therapy, Reiki, self-love, self-care. Okay, there's a need for you to really buckle down and take whatever off that list feels comfortable to you and begin to work with it. Okay, because there's going to continue to be this lack of movement, and for as long as there is this lack of movement and there's this lack of motivation, the more harsh and hurtful you are being toward yourself, the more lies that you are telling yourself about how you're incapable of this, or about how you don't have any power or over your situation, about how you're always going to be stuck. Okay, and I feel like aside from doing all of that self-healing work, one of the most important takeaways from this is the Page of Wands, because the Page of Wands is calling for you to just do something. And once you begin to just do that little bit of something each and every day, it's going to begin to make you realize, it's going to begin to like rebuild or regrow that self-worth. It's going to begin to help you to rebuild, that lack of motivation. You're going to feel more motivated to continue forward. Okay, so I hope that that is making sense in one way or another. Okay, I'm just going to get these cards set up for me right before I move into the oracle cards. Okay, so now we are going to get into the oracle cards pile 2. Let's see what other messages have to come through. And another thing too that I heard while I was like, I organized them so that I can see them for the confirmation that's going to come after this. And I feel like another thing too is you might feel like at times that certain people put you in a box, or you might feel like you've put yourself in this box. And I do feel like that might resonate, especially if you've been feeling like you are incapable of certain things, or you feel like there's certain things you're capable of, but many things that you're incapable of, and that you don't have personal power over the situation. I do feel like you yourself have also put yourself into this box. Okay, the first card we had jump out was purity. And I feel like the purity card is basically speaking to, being of pure mind, or clearing your head, clearing out this gunk that's existing in yourself right now, clearing out the self-doubt, clearing out the anxiety, clearing out, those feelings of not having personal power over the situation, clearing out those feelings of not having potential when it comes to this, and so on and so forth. And also this could be indicating to me as well that there's a need for you to begin to look at things from a new perspective. So with that said, the focusing on, like, let's say SMART goals when it comes to this, the smaller, more manageable, more tangible goals for yourselves, is something that could be you looking at this from a new perspective. Because for you, it's almost like you're either all in, I don't remember the expression, but all or nothing. You might be very all or nothing in your thinking, and there's a need for you to not be that way. Okay, so again, I feel like finding the clarity that you need. I feel like finding clarity, perhaps being of pure mind, releasing some of that self-doubt, releasing the anxiety, releasing any depression or feelings of being unworthy, and so on and so forth, are all things that's going to help for you to begin to move forward. Okay, we then have the resilience card. And the resilience card is telling you to not give up on whatever the hell this thing is. And that's where I also feel like this all or nothing thinking is kind of coming in. That if you're not, like, successful right away, if you're not getting recognized or rewarded at your workplace right away, if you're not getting, like, recognized by millions for your singing or your writing or your art, if you're not getting orders and clients and so on and so forth every single day, all of the time, you're like, I'm going to throw in the towel. I can't continue to move forward. I can't continue to do this. And it feeds into your imposter syndrome. It feeds into your lack of motivation. It feeds into your lack of abundance or your lack of worthiness. It puts you yet again into this box of not being capable or able of moving forward. You're being urged to be resilient when it comes to this. You're being urged to continue to push forward. There just needs to be a change up of your mindset, and there needs to be a change up of the way in which you are taking action. Perhaps with more so, let's say, organized actions. Organized or routine actions. Breaking things up into things that are smaller and more manageable for you to actually accomplish. Because at times, I feel like you might purposely set yourself up for failure when it comes to some of this. And then when you don't hit that extremely high goal that you set for yourself, it's again all or nothing thinking. And you want to give up and you want to throw in the towel. And you do not want to do that, because this is something that seems to be very meaningful for you. This is something that you do have a lot of passion in going forward toward. And I know that having to reevaluate and re-examine your mindset surrounding this and what's going on mentally and emotionally is something that is going to take time. Okay? We again have this card. We have the card acceptance, not again, but there was an earlier message of And then we have the acceptance card jump out. And I feel like the acceptance card could be referring back to the imposter syndrome, that you are accepted and perhaps even respected within whatever your field is, and you are doubting that. Okay, I also feel like acceptance is perhaps even you having to accept the rate at which whatever this goal is going to grow for you. Okay, that this isn't something that's going to just magically come into existence. There's real work that you're going to have to put into this. And again, there's that message of just do something little every day, let's say, to keep you motivated and to keep you on track and to keep you routined and organized. That's moving forward into the abundance card. And again, I feel like an abundance mindset is something that you are going to need to begin to cultivate. A more so positive mindset is something that you're going to need to begin to cultivate as well. Okay, so there's a lot of self-healing work. And one of the major things that's holding you back right now is fear. Okay, there's fear moving forward. There's anxiety. There's the lies that you tell yourself. And then we have the last card jumping out being hunger. Okay, this is what you want. This is what you are hungry for. This is what you are trying to bring and to grow into your life. This is what you are trying to cultivate, or this is what you want to cultivate. Okay, and even if you don't have it all figured out yet, there's still this hunger that you have, or this yearning that you have for something more than whatever it is you're doing right now. And I do have to say, and again, not in a harsh way, as I started to say that, I heard, and right now there's not much being done. And that's because of the analysis paralysis. That's because of the, lack of self-worth and the feeling unworthy of the abundance that you're trying to attract. That's because of the imposter syndrome. And that's because of the fear and the anxiety and the perhaps depression that's also taking place here. That's because of this lack of power and this lack of potential that you are currently feeling here. Okay, and there's a need for you to begin to rectify all of that, and that's going to be a lot of work. Okay, but one of the first steps that you can make today, other than focusing on self-care, self-love, and putting a guided meditation on, would be doing one small, manageable task, or even sitting down and plotting and planning. What are small, manageable goals that you can make to help to get you from where you are right now to where you want to be? Okay? So I hope that made sense. I said this for pile 1 as well. I'm sorry if anything that I say throughout the course of the reading is harsh or hurtful. I'm never trying to be harsh or hurtful. I'm only trying to deliver the messages as accurately and honestly as I can. Okay? So moving forward to confirmation, we have sevens. Sevens again. Sevens were part of pile 1 as well. So if you've been seeing 777, 77, and so on and so forth, that's a major sign of confirmation for you as well. We also have deer. Deers is one. There's this one card, abundance, that has a bunch of different animals on it, but the one animal that stood out to me on it was the fox. Okay, there's a couple of foxes on the page. There's also deer on this page, but there's a deer on one of the tarot cards that's very, very, very tiny and mixed in. Okay, so deer, foxes, if you've been seeing them a lot, maybe you live in a place where you'd be capable of seeing them. Another sign of confirmation that we have in regard to numbers would be ones. So if you've been seeing 111, if you've been seeing 777, and if you've been seeing 333. Okay, ones, threes, and sevens are one sign or synchronicity that is seemingly being sent to you via your guides. And another thing that we have are white birds or black birds. So crows, ravens, I guess, I think they're all black, or like a white dove. And this is all white and all black. Kind of like your all or nothing thinking. like it's all one or all the other. So that's another thing that's coming through here. And just checking for anything else, but I think that is pretty much it. Okay. Oh, another thing would be daisies. white daisies. Okay, so if you've been seeing daisies, maybe you have daisies planted in your garden, maybe you planted some daisies today, all white or all black birds, deers, foxes, the numbers 1, the numbers 3, and the number 7. Okay, are all things that you can be looking for or that you maybe have that would act as a sign of confirmation for you that this reading was meant for you. And other than that, thank you so, so, so much, pile 2, my clear quartz point pile. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Hello, pile 3, my Herkimer Diamond pile. So today we are looking at what it is that your spirit guides want you to know most right now, what it is that they want you to hear most right now, okay, what it is that they have been trying to get through to you about and communicate to you, okay, and at the end we are going to have some little signs and confirmation, signs of confirmation so that it's just a little bit extra for you to know that this reading was meant for you. Okay, so I see with the Ace of Wands and the Devil in reverse, there's this big burst of energy that you have or had. I would more so say had. Big burst of energy you had to go after something that you really wanted for yourself. It might be creative in nature. Because the Page of Cups just jumped out as I was saying that. We have the Devil in reverse, which can indicate that you have been releasing a lot of the fear and the anxiety that you have held surrounding that opportunity. There's also something that you might realize is like this newfound potential of yours. Okay, it could be something that, again, is a creative talent, or it's just something that you are very passionate about and that you feel very purposeful about as well. Okay, and you've begun to release a lot of the fear and the anxiety and the doubts that you have surrounding it. But then we have the Hanged Man and we have the Two of Swords. And that to me can indicate that for some reason or another, you've put this on hold. Okay, maybe there's been a change in your routine, so you're not focusing on self-care as much or meditative work. Maybe you've put it on hold because what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe self-doubt has started to creep in again with that Two of Swords, but it more so feels like to me there's some hesitation, there's some apprehension, there's of course some fear and anxiety involved, even though you've begun to release some of it, and there's also this very, very, very strong message of indecision and not being sure of how to go about getting to where you want to be. Okay, and it feels like to me that perhaps at times this creative work that you do or are involved with tends to take like a back burner, or tends to sit on the back burner, whatever the hell the expression is, because you have other responsibilities that you are tending to. Okay, and the Page of Cups would yet again indicate that this could be some type of creative or some type of spiritual or intuitive work or talent that you have, and it's an innate ability. And I'm going to say it again, take what resonates and leave the rest. So if this does not resonate with you at all, then this pile is not meant for you, because to me this is really strongly indicating that there is some type of creative talent or intuitive ability that you have, that at times you're really gung-ho about, hey, how the hell do I turn this into, let's say, my main form of income? How do I continue to move forward on this path? What do I do? How do I get myself there? And there's this really gung-ho energy about it of, oh my God. Truck outside scared the shit out of me. But there's this really gung-ho energy about it of, what do I need to do? How do I get there? There might also be at times periods of time where you do have an extra time, like where you do have more time, effort, and energy to be pouring into whatever this creative talent or intuitive ability is. And again, I feel like this has something to do with, let's say, your day job. getting in the way, or other responsibilities, like let's say if you're a parent. And of course, if you are a parent, then there's times where your children and their needs and your responsibility to them takes precedence over whatever this creative talent is. And maybe in the past, because I do feel like this is a talent that you've carried with you throughout time. And in that regard, there hasn't been all of the time in the world that you could devote to whatever this passion project, let's say, of yours is. And this does, it feels very creative and or intuitive. This feels like something, one thing that I heard, because I had to pause for a second, one thing that I kept hearing was like, just start that Etsy shop. There's also, right now, another thing too, or something that I just got is like, right now you perhaps have the time, the motive, and the opportunity to put extra time, effort, and energy into this, because maybe there are certain things in your life outside of this that are now on pause. Okay, maybe your children have grown up and they're out of the house. Okay, and there's not this sense of having to care for them, all the time. Like there's less responsibility because they're older now. If you are a parent, maybe your work schedule, your day job schedule is not as hectic as it once was or can be. And instead of feeling indecisive about whether or not to put your time, effort, and energy back into this creative, more so passion project of yours, it's this very strong message of now's the time. Like if you've been thinking about or mulling over whether or not you should start your own website, whether or not you should put your time into creating an Etsy page, so on and so forth. And then right after this, we have a lack of confidence. What is this lack of confidence in your abilities? Okay, because this is something that you have clearly developed and molded throughout time. Okay, but there is this lack of confidence. And I find that interesting that during my little break while the garbage man was passing, I kept getting this like, just start the Etsy page, just start the website, just do it, just go for it. And I find that interesting because is there a little bit, pile 2 also had a little bit of imposter syndrome, but is there this like little bit of imposter syndrome where maybe you feel like whatever you're selling is not good enough? Maybe you feel like you're not intuitive enough. Maybe you feel like you're not creative enough, and whatever it is that you're creating isn't that spectacular and nobody's going to buy it. There's just really strong messages here of you doubting yourself, of you not having the confidence in your abilities to move forward, even though this is something that you are very talented in. What card are you wanting to break free? The Ten of Cups is wanting to break free, but he didn't exactly jump out or flip out. But this is something that's incredibly fulfilling for you. Ten of Pentacles did jump out. Okay? This is something that's incredibly fulfilling for you. This is something that has been with you, I feel, for a very, very, very long time. Okay? This could be a talent that has been passed down for generations. Especially, I get that more so if it is some type of intuitive ability. But if this is more so creative, of course the creativity or that creative side could be passed down to you, but it more so again feels like this is something you have always been creative and or intuitive. This has always been with you since the dawn of time, since you were a adolescent, during your childhood. You have always been that creative one or that intuitive one. This is something that's not only not only something that you are incredibly passionate about, but it is also something that you find to be extremely emotionally fulfilling, and this is something that can be very financially abundant for you if you were to put yourself out there. We have the Six of Swords in reverse. This card can indicate changing or abandoning plans, and I do feel like what that's indicative of, and I'm sorry I keep harping on it, but if you have been wanting to, let's say, self-publish a book, if you have been wanting to start that Etsy page or create your own website and so on and so forth, you keep abandoning the plan. And you're abandoning the plan due to this lack of confidence or this lack of self-worth. Also this lack of feeling like whatever it is that you're putting out there is worthy. And then we have the Empress. Okay, again, I'm getting these motherly vibes. Not obviously not for everybody, but for some people that maybe you have changed plans or abandoned plans now and in the past because you are a parent, and you have had other responsibilities. You've had people that you've had to care for financially, or people that you've had to attend to, and nurture, and so on and so forth. So it's been hard for you to have anything of your own. And I just keep getting this message that for most of you, now's the time. Okay, now's time for you to move into that energy of it. It's time for you. It's time for you to have your thing. Okay? That you've spent too many cards, a couple of cards. Knight of Cups jumped out on first, which is again, oh my god, now again, too many cards. Jesus. Now the cards are flying out. But where was I? So, like, there's been this changing of or abandoning of plans. We have 2 reverse 6s, which to me, these 2 reverse 6s can be indicating basically a lack of movement or a lack of growth in putting yourself out there when it comes to whatever this is. Okay? And now is the time. That's another very distinct message. Now is the time with the Hierophant. Now's the time to start to, go into this business-wise for yourself. Okay? That's one thing that's coming through very, very strongly again, that this is some type of creative venture, creative project, creative business, or intuitive project, venture, business. Okay, again, if that doesn't resonate with you, if you are not creative, if you are not intuitive, then I do feel like this is not your pile. Okay, and that maybe today there was just not a message here for you. But you're being urged to discontinue to please discontinue not going after this opportunity. I wanted to see what was on the bottom of the deck. The Knight of Swords in reverse is at the bottom of the deck. You can't continue to miss out on this opportunity. You either have right now or into the near future are going to be given, again, the time, the motive, and the opportunity to put extended time, effort, and energy into whatever this passion project of yours is. Okay, it's not the time to continue to lay this on the back burner. It's not the time to continue to be indecisive about it. It's not the time to continue to live in the lack, to feel that self-doubt, to feel like you're not deserving of this, to feel like what you're creating is not worth it. Okay? Because this is something that can be incredibly abundant and incredibly fruitful for you financially and emotionally. And it seems like you're moving into this time of your life to be able to put a lot more of your time, effort, and energy into it. Okay, so you're being urged, recommended, focus on, of course, the self-healing work that's going to help for you to release the self-doubt that you need to release. Focus on an abundance mindset. The growth card was the first card to jump out. Focus on personal growth, spiritual growth, meditative work, introspective work, therapy, Reiki, self-love, self-care, all that good stuff, to begin to move yourself back forward into this energy of, fuck yeah, I can do this. Okay, because where we start, there's this, fuck yeah, I can do this, and then there's these doubts that start to trickle in. Okay, but this is something that if you move forward with it, your business, this venture, this project is going to continue to grow and to expand. Okay? This is something that's going to have a lot of positive movement forward with it if you continue to make that positive movement forward. If you continue with this power card to exert your unlimited personal power and your unlimited potential over this. Okay, your potential is unlimited, your power is unlimited. It is so absolutely necessary that you move forward with this plan. Okay, stop changing the plan, stop abandoning the plan. It's time to move forward with it. This is a place like whatever it is that you're moving forward to is a place that you are going to really see significant changes, both I feel in your happiness. The card that just jumped out, y'all. Oh my God. It's a place where you're going to find unlimited happiness and fulfillment and abundance. And the next card to jump out is creation. Okay, again, that in and of itself to me is just a sign or a little bit of confirmation reiterating that this is the intuitive, creative pile being urged to go after what it is that they find fulfilling and purposeful for them. Okay? And that you will continue to have continued growth and success within it if you push forward and do the damn thing. We then have the beauty card. I feel like the beauty card is yet again reiterating that there is, something that you are creating. And not only that, but I feel like the beauty card should perhaps be, or is really, what the message I just got from it now is to stop doubting yourself and to stop doubting your work. Okay, whether you're doing something similar as myself, like tarot or Reiki or birth chart readings, what you're creating and what you're cultivating for that other person and giving it to them is beautiful in and of itself. Now, obviously, if you're like creating a beautiful piece of art, or if you're, making jewelry, if you're a nail tech, and you're creating these beautiful artwork on people's nails or on a canvas, doesn't matter what the intuitive creative work is, you're doing something beautiful for that other person. And another thing too with this intuitive and creative work is it also involves things such as, let's say, social work or psychology, something where you're dealing with somebody's emotions. Okay, so that can be another aspect of this. Okay, but I do feel like anybody that it didn't resonate for already clicked away. But I also loop in psychology with it because of how because of the emotions and dealing with somebody's emotions. I loop in with creative and intuitive work. The last card to jump out we have is realization. Okay, and I feel like the realization here could be several different things. Could be that you've put this passion project on the back burner for far too long. It could be that now's the time. You've never had time perhaps like this before. You've never had the opportunity like this before. So now's the time for you to begin to put your time, effort, and energy into it. It could be the realization that this is something that's incredibly fulfilling and purposeful for you, and that this is something that you need to continue to put your time, effort, and energy into, because at the end of the day, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel powerful, it makes you feel happy, it makes you be able to see your own unlimited potential. And you know that it's something, especially since this would be a very personal venture for you, it's something that's going to really allow for you yourself to grow, for your finances to grow, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now when we move into signs and pieces of confirmation, we have, again, really anything that involves artwork. Like there's architecture type of stuff on here. So if you are an artist and you like to draw, let's say, architecture, or maybe even if you are an architect, that could be something. Another thing too would be like red jewelry. Red rubies, red jewelry. Doesn't have to be real, could be costume. But red jewelry could be another aspect of this. We also have yellow butterflies and red butterflies coming through. Another thing too, on this card we have like watches. So if you wear a watch, if you have a pocket watch, or if you have even a locket, not necessarily a watch around your neck, but a locket around, that would be a sign of confirmation as well. And now as far as numbers, we have 6s, we have 2s, and we also have 9s. Okay, so 6s, 6, 2, 9, and 3. Okay? But especially the 6s and the 2s are highly significant. So if you've been seeing 222, 666, 333, 999, those can all be signs or confirmation for you, as well as everything else that I've mentioned prior. Okay? And I think that is pretty much it for you. Pile 2, or no, pile 3, we are at the end. Pile 3, my Herkimer Diamond pile. So thank you so much, Pile 3, for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.